Because if I can do it, you can do it. Now, have I ever installed one of these timers before? You know what? I have never installed a timer like this in my life. But I know I can do it. Never, and I mean never, work on an electrical outlet or a circuit that has power on it. Don't even think, oh, I'll be careful, I know how to do it, I've seen an electrician do that. You know what, professional electricians probably could do this hot. And they have in such a way that they'll do it, but I never like to do that. And I don't encourage you to do anything like that either. Got to figure out right here where this stud is. So the easiest way is I can take a little nail here, like an 8-penny nail, and I'm going to tap it in right on the edge here, because there's either a 2x4 right there or there's one over here. And I've got to find that out. Okay, there's something right there, and that's where I was hoping it was. I was hoping it's hollow over here, but I'm still going to try. Good, nothing there. Here's my cut-in box I'm going to use to put that timer location in there. I'm not ready to do that just yet, but I'm just showing it to you. And at the store, I went and bought 2 of these because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to be able to fish my wire into this box just yet, depending where the stud layout is. I might want that right in here, but I'm hoping the next stud is way over here, because if you will remember, this plug is way far in the corner. Okay? So I want to get this over as far over to this stud as I can, so when somebody walks up to this air conditioner, they can reach over here and turn the timer here instead of walk way over here in case there's a chair in the corner or whatever. So before you start cutting your cut-in box in willy-nilly, let's figure out where the studs are first. That will determine where we install that timer. Does that make sense? Now you're probably scratching your head wondering, okay, yeah, right, Joe said he's going to put his cut-in box in right here. He's going to drill a hole through here. How on earth is he going to get the wire from there fished into this box? Because you know the outlets on the back side of the box are top and bottom. And how am I going to get that over there? And I'm so close to this wall here, I can't like drill a hole to the side of the box, fish it to the side of the box. How am I going to do that? You know, there is a way to do it. Do you know how? Well, this is how we're going to do that. We're going to put this cut-in box here. We're going to fish that down in there, and look at this. I got another cut-in box. Oh, Joe was thinking, wasn't he? Well, I'm not going to put that, I'm not going to cut in anything. I'm going to put this box right where that existing box is. Another trick you're going to learn, how to take out an existing outlet box, because if I can pull that box out, now I'm going to have a hollow cavity here. I've got a hollow cavity here. Drill a hole through there, fish the wires through there, pull them out, put them in the cut-in box, push the whole thing back in there. You see? Now you know what's happening. Cut-in box there, cut-in box there. Now let's think about this for a moment before we drill our hole, right? What you got to use is 12-2 with ground, 12 gauge wire, and here's my little piece. I'm going to do this whole project with this. I just happen to have this piece of wire. I didn't have to go to the store and buy a whole roll or anything like that. Incidentally, at the store you can get 12-2 in maybe 15-foot roll, 25-foot roll, and they'll even cut it for you if you ask them, and then they charge you by the foot. You know, so any way you can do it, okay? So 12 gauge is for 20 amp, and that's what I have. Remember, I don't want to use 14 gauge wire because that's too small. Okay, so the higher the number, the bigger the wire. 12 gauge wire is fairly stout wire. 10 gauge is even thicker. 14 gauge is thinner. Okay, 14 gauge is for 15 amp circuits. This is a 20 amp circuit breaker, and I know I've got 12 gauge wire. I'm looking at this wire over here, and I'm not sure what they ran. You know, it almost looks like they ran 15 gauge wire or 14 gauge wire. I don't know why they did that. They've got it on a 20 amp breaker, but this is existing. I can't do anything about that. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. So there's the theory. 12 gauge wire, 20 amp breaker. 14 gauge wire, 15 amp breaker. Okay? So we got a 20 amp breaker, so I'm going to use this 12-2 with ground. This is cable sheathed wire, so we're going to strip that off. There's 3 wires in there, a black wire, a ground wire, which is copper wire, and a white wire. Okay, but we got to think about this before we drill the hole. See, we're really doing this, man. There's no turning back now. That's where my box is going to have to go. And I hope that stud's there and not way over there, and it should be right there. If I push that in there, uh-oh. Wow, that's gonna be tight. That's gonna be really tight to get that in there. You know, because I got the thickness of the sheetrock to deal with too. And I got it, man, that's gonna be, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. Because this tip is almost on the back side of this 2x4. This is a 2x4 wall. I think it's 3.5 inches thick, deep in there. A little bit deeper. No, 3.5 or so. See, there's insulation in there too. I'm going to have to kind of mess with that. But yeah, the stud is, in fact, right there. And so got to do a little prep work on that, I think, before I get ready to drill that hole. What I'm going to do to make this just a little bit easier, see, I'm going to cut the back side of the sheetrock off. You know, that's not going to hurt anything, is it? Just a little bit, just in one spot. That way I can get my drill in there just a hair closer to the back side, right? And I don't want to go so far that I'm going to bust a hole through here and make this so weak that I'm going to have a problem later, you know? But for a little added extra oomph, I think that's going to work. Now see that, oh, that helped tremendously. That's way better. Okay, right there is where I'm going to drill that hole. All right, here we go. I'm going to drill that hole in there. As I go, I want to make sure the back side, I've got to be careful so this back side doesn't want to rub the wall. You know what I mean? So depending how I hit this hole, I've got to be careful with that, right? Well, in fact, I might have to slide this over just a hair so I can get it at a little bit more of an angle, but enough to where I think everything's going to be fine. Okay? I'm still going to watch the back side here and I got to be careful here. Once this goes through, I might mark that. I just got to be careful. I'm going to pull this out, check that. It still feels like it's tight. I got to find my hole again. There it is. I think it's about ready to go through because it's grabbing like that. Usually when it does that, that tells you you're almost through. I'm going to try to hang on to this, push in, and I'm kind of holding it away from the wall and back too at the same time. It's kind of tricky to explain here. There. It's through.